Hi, my name is Ed Hall, and welcome to WaveLinx LITE Basic Programming and Configuration. A few WaveLinx LITE best practices. 100 feet line of sight between devices, 5 hops between devices, 28 areas per site, 50 devices per area with a best practice of 40, 16 zones or groups per area, 6 occupancy sets, and 7 scenes per area. Now, downloading and registering the app is supported on devices running iOS 13 or higher and Android 9 or higher. You'll notice the orange lamp icon next to the app. Once we get it downloaded, open the app and select register, keying in your email address, password, and accepting the terms and conditions. Now that we have our app created, open the app and we will select add a site. Note you must have an internet connection in order to create the site. Fill in the required fields and also note that the site name has to be unique and it cannot be repeated. Select Next and that will take you to the template screen. In this case, we're going to use the default templates and select Next. Now that we've created our site, we are going to jump into creating our area. We're going to select a networked area, meaning a mesh network of devices. And we're going to select a standalone area, meaning individual devices. We will name our areas and then select Save. Now notice that we have areas in PTC Mesh, which is our site, and we will tap Next. Notice the Assign tab next to our areas, but it's a best practice to select Skip and Add Later for our devices. Now on to provisioning devices. Select your site to begin provisioning devices. You will then select the area that you would like to provision in. Notice from the area screen there is a network icon. Notice it's crossed out. If this is the case, tap it and your network connection will now be open in order to talk to devices. Select the circled clockwise arrow next to unassigned devices to begin scanning for devices in range. Now in this case we found one wall station and 5 integrated sensors. To ensure that we're selecting the appropriate device, tap the flashlight icon and it will turn blue. The device itself will actually begin to flash for 15 seconds. This can be halted by selecting the icon again, and then we will tap the plus sign to provision our device. The next screen will show our request is being processed, and once we receive check marks next to the configurations, select Close, and your device has now been provisioned. Now let's talk about some occupancy. To modify mode and hold time, as well as occupied and unoccupied state, select the Occupancy tab at the bottom of the out screen. Occupancy set 1 will be there by default, or you can tap the plus sign to add your own unique occupancy set. Remember, we can have up to 6 total occupancy sets. From the Occupancy Set 1 screen, you'll notice the pencils next to mode and hold time, occupied, as well as unoccupied state. By tapping those pencils, you now see the examples of mode and hold time screens, as well as occupied and unoccupied state. By tapping the arrow next to the hold time in minutes for mode and hold time, you will receive a drop-down selection of 5, 10, 20, or other. Note that you can only use a max of 40 minutes. Once your desired selections have been made, select Save. For the occupied and unoccupied state, select the arrows to adjust your light levels and tap Save next to those selections. Now let's review our zones. Remember, we can have up to 16 total. From the area page, tap the Add Zone selection. You will then select a unique zone name, and once the zone types are populated, tap the Add button to add your zone. We will now return back to the Occupancy Set 1 screen and select Zones. Notice from the next screen, we now have our test created zone in Available Zones, and we will tap the plus sign to add this zone to Occupancy Set 1. Now let's review some daylight sets. To configure daylighting, select the daylight icon from the bottom of the area screen. You will notice our devices are in the closed loop pool. You can select one device at a time or all devices by selecting Enable All. Once your selection has been made, notice at the bottom we have a closed loop set is configured and a daylight set status updated message, and we can select OK. Now under our daylight calibration. From daylight sets, select Calibrate All. You will then have a choice of manual calibration or auto calibration. Manual calibration will give us options of units as well as light levels. The auto calibration only will give us a select all option or an individual device option. Once our choices have been made for each configuration, select Calibrate. Now on to setting up our scenes. Remember, we can have a max of 7. From the area screen, you want to select Scenes, and they will actually select our specific scene. Notice the off scene, it is only for off. There's not an engine next to that off selection to adjust. So once we jump into scene 1, we will select the arrows for our light level, and we can also rename that scene to our unique and specific name. Once our selections have been made, scene has been named, select Save. Now once our scenes are set up, we can push them out to our wall station. From the area page, about midway down, see Devices in Area and select Wall Station. You will then see our virtual wall station, and we are going to select, in this case, button 1. Now we are basically inside of button 1. It's good to note that scene 3 is the default for button 1. But in this case, we're going to make a change by selecting Select Scene as the action. And then we'll select the drop-down arrow next to Scene. Notice we receive options of off and the 5 remaining scenes. We will choose our scene and select Save. Now, a neat added feature is our multi-commissioner option. A site owner may invite up to 4 registered account holders to a site or project. Each account owner will then create their own area for the site. When complete, each account holder will back up their data to the Trellix cloud, where the site is able to be recombined. Only the project owner retains ownership. Now let's review the process a little bit from the site screen, from the original owner. You will need a network connection for this process to be completed. They will tap the 3 vertical dots and then select Invite. Enter the email address of the account holder you wish to send your site to and select Invite. Notice the new account holder, and our PTC Mez now has a -1 next to it. And they will select Restore. Now we will notice that the PTC Mez -1 is created. There are no areas yet. So the account holder will now go out and from our previous screens, follow the area setup. You'll notice now the area is set up, and the account holder will now return to the site screen. Select the 3 vertical dots, and then select Site Transfer. From the Site Transfer screen, enter the original owner's email address and select Transfer. From our final transfer screen, you will actually get a confirmation window. Select Transfer at this screen. Now, once the transfer is complete and back to the original owner, you will notice PTC Mez-1 below the PTC Mez site, as well as Restore. So once you select Restore, you will get a Restoring Site Process message. And once that completes, you will now see the new area that was created by the account holder has transferred over. Once the new area has been restored, the owner will return to the site screen and tap the 3 vertical dots once again and select Site Merge. From the Site's Merge screen, select Backup. You will see that our backup is initiated for our PTC Mez site. The next screen will show a Merge All tab grayed out, and we will then want to select the arrow in the cloud, and we will get a backup initiated again for site PTC Mez-1. Once the backup completes, we then can select Merge All. A Merging Sites screen will appear, and once it completes, we will receive a message that the sites merged successfully. Now, once our owner goes back to the PTC Mez site, not only do we have Area 1 and Area 2, but we now have our newly created area from our account holder. I hope this has been very informative, and thanks for joining.